Inside the heart of Unsolved Studios comes the Unsolved FearCast. What are you afraid of?
Yay. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Unsolved FearCast. We're excited to be doing this. Welcome back, listeners. Ryan, welcome back.
What up? I'm Ryan.
Yeah. Fonz, Tyson, we're going to be doing this today. We got an extra special episode for you. We got an extra special call-in guest on the line today. Again, welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be talking with a special guest from the Bronx of New York City. Yeah, hardcore. Sebastian Cruz. Welcome to Unsolved Studios, brother. How you doing?
Oh, great, man. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, well, not a problem. We love you having on here, man, and we're gonna get down to some fears that we got for today. But first, let me ask you, we got a big-ass green screen going on in here. Do you mind if we raid your Facebook page and, use some of your Facebook monster fucking pics and throw them up there?
I'm an ex-wrestler, indie wrestler, ex-bodyguard, security, been around the block. Fear is never an option when you're doing security because you can't be scared when you got to take care of stuff in bad situations.
And that's facts. There's some fucking scary situations out there, and just so everybody knows, this monster of a man, this teddy bear monster of a man, has a long resume of just full badassery. This guy has been, again, he's done his dues in the streets and for society. He's been a great individual within pro wrestling. He's done security, concert security, and fucking even child education, man. That's crazy shit. In all of those situations, you can't be afraid of nothing. Ain't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Seabass, once again, with all those fears, man, there's a lot of points in life where you can't be afraid of anything. But you, sir, did tell us about a couple of fears that we want to start diving into. So, Seabass, welcome to Unsolved Studios. What's your fear?
Undead children.
Undead children and drowning. That's
Combination of the two just makes my butthole pucker. It's so tight right now. Probably if I fought, it'd be a dog whistle.
Oh no.
So safe to say the worst thing in the world would be like undead babies holding you underwater while you're trying to swim to the surface.
Honestly, there's just something about a small undead kid that can run fast at you, ready to bite your skin off. There's something just so, it's unsettling.
I fucking get that, man. That's a whole fucking shift change in life when you got a fucking undead kid just running at you, just trying to bite off your legs.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie. Sounds terrifying.
Oh,
it is. It's absolutely terrifying. It's like, think about this in the perspective of I have ruined my leg, so I can't run now, right? But even in my prime, I would have these nightmares of just being swarmed by undead children. And then ironically, I bought a PC game, the zombie game, and there's one board that had nothing but undead kids, and I was playing with teams, like other players.
Right.
And I froze, and they're like, "What's wrong?" And I couldn't even shoot them because they were just like running at me, and I was just like, "I gotta go, peace!" And I just left them out there.
You fucking choked up on the game, man. That's fucking hilarious.
I was like, "Sorry about your bad luck there, fellas," but yeah, I'm off like a girl, and I'm off like a prom dress.
Oh my
I'm out
God.
like a bad kitten dodgeball.
Well, there's, and again, medical disclaimer, Ryan and I, we are not, well, I'm a doctor, but we are not mental or physical doctors. We are not here to give out any personal advice or help assist with, cures or whatnot for your fears. We are just here to deep dive into the situations, figure out the whys, the who's, the whats, and just understand, learn it, see the flip side of everything, and that's why we love having these guests on here. That's why we love having you here, Seabass. So like, and there's not much research that that one can do about zombie babies or undead, not zombie babies, but undead children just running at you, other than what can you do about it?
I mean, even about a golf club, a baseball bat, even like a weed whacker, I just don't. It's just something about it, and it's like, all right. So when I was younger, my sister had this cricket doll. It looked like the Chucky doll, but a female. And I guess, because of science now, I understand it. I thought it was possessed when I was a kid.
Got you.
It started talking and it slurred. It was like, no. My sister started crying. I did the only thing a big brother can do. I picked that thing up and hurled it out of the top floor window.
You got to do that, man. You got to make sure that and fucking little Furbies, man. Fuck that shit. I can't do that shit. But that's a whole nother topic, I guess.
I had to save my face to make myself a safe space.
Now that's like a weird thing too. Yeah, like the idea of like the haunted doll, because like if you look on eBay, you'd be surprised how many listings there are for haunted dolls, or even just growing up, like having like a story in your town about like a haunted doll. The idea of like these creepy little kid, figures that like are just have extraordinary powers. It's like, yeah, no, there's something really tangible to that, where it's like you hear that around. It's not something that's like, oh hey, just that's just a little creepy. It's like, no, dolls are terrifying.
Well, I see. I have mixed feelings about haunted dolls. Am I gonna go out on the fucking internet and fucking buy a haunted doll for $50? Hell no. But I y'all have been in my little studio at my pad. Like I got that handmade Dreamcatcher with the doll that I found in the trash, and its head was all broken, and you like twist it up and it like does a zippity doo-dah song in it, painted the face, put some brains in the fucker, and gave it a little knife. And now, depending on my mood, my situations, that motherfucker will go off, dude. You walk into that room and it'll start twinkling all on its own. It's pretty funny. What about you, Seabass? Would you get a haunted doll off the internet?
No.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a straight no.
All right, what about you, listeners?
Why would I put myself in a position for that? That's just asking for trouble. I mean, that's like inviting a cannibal to your house and being like, man, my dog's missing, and then you start missing family members, and you wonder why he don't want to eat dinner with you.
He's always making dinner though, and it's good grub, yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm a diabetic. I'm not sweet at all. I'm just horribly salty.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah, I am strictly against inviting bad juju into the home.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing, Do what you need to keep that shit out.
And if you're gonna buy a haunted doll, that's like buying a possessed dildo.
Oh shit.
Why would you put yourself in that position? Like, it's like, oh, well, I got hit by a car. What were you doing? Well, I just didn't pay attention to the crosswalk and decided to walk across the street of a highway or like a busy road.
Oh my God.
Why would you do that?
Hey, I'm not knocking anybody's kinks over here, but I'm pretty sure someone might go with the fucking haunted dildo. I'm just saying.
Yeah, listen, if anything can get possessed, I mean, that's like a ghost telling them to go fuck themselves. I guess that's in that level, right?
Shit. All right, man.
Oh man, that's wild.
So, all right, reeling it back into your fears of discussion on topic today. We got the undead children. That's definitely a negative in my book, and I don't, with that whole aspect, the likelihood, again, getting down into scientifics, the likelihood of seeing and getting involved with an undead child running at you, like, what can you do about it? How are you going to get away from it? Or, again, likelihood.
Well, yeah, it's a very low percentage, but I don't think you could say it's a 0% chance.
No, yeah, for sure. There's, y'all seen movies. Y'all have nightmares.
I don't think they make glue traps big enough for those things.
All right. Well, I mean, that thing comes at you, you're a big motherfucker, dude. Like you throw those cardboard bales from those machines around. You can pick one of those up by yourself and huck one of those things, man. Those like industrial compound cardboard balers. Like I've seen that shit happen, and like if that little kid is running at you, wouldn't you just like hold out your hand and just hold the fucker by its head as it's trying to like gnaw at you and just hold it back?
But in my head, if I'm that strong, right?
Right.
So my biggest fear is like if it's jumping on me, right? I'm trying to pull it off. But if the arm comes off now, all of a sudden now it's free enough to bite me and start chewing on me. Then I don't want to turn.
Yeah, I think it's similar to like, we all have cats, but if you've ever met a cat that wants nothing to do with you, that's a scary, formidable little creature.
Okay, I get that. That's a good comparison, I could say. Look,
but I mean, but it's not also that. It's the fact that I love kids. I used to own a toy store, and I think it's awesome. But at the same time, it's that whole like that innocence that kids are, plus the fact that now there's an added fear factor to it because now it's something that
the innocence is gone.
Now it's a dangerous weapon.
Yep. It's
like a feral dog or like a badger in a bag. You don't know what's gonna happen. That's true.
I never thought of it like that. I mean, it is it's a complete psychological flip at that point. It goes from an endearing child, something that somebody along the line, most likely not all the time, but somebody along the line nurtured and loved and helped grow or is in the process of growing. And it just completely flips into the segment of now this little shit's trying to eat me. That's pretty fucking scary.
I mean, it's completely frowned upon to hit children. So imagine that's embedded into you in your life, and then all of a sudden you're in a situation where you have to destroy a child.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like soldiers who have to kill kids. It's not like they're like, yeah, you know what, this toddler just came up with a Snickers bar and I was hungry, and he pops him. It's not like that. It takes a toll on you.
I get that.
You're killing an adult, then it's like, your survival instincts, especially if it's a man versus a man. It's like an undead female. You're going to have that pause, but you're still like, oh, it's an adult. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't want to do it, but at the same time, it's like survival kicks in. Now, I get it. I could probably punt one of these little things like a Nerf football. But at the same time, speed, you don't know how fast this thing is moving. Plus, I mean, little teeth. Have you ever been bit by a kid playing around?
Oh, my God.
It hurts.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Are you more afraid of the actual entity of an undead child, or are you more afraid of having to deal with that situation if it ever came down to it?
To be on the record, it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Because there's that added, I don't want to do something to injure, I never want to hurt a child.
Right.
But then it's like, I don't know what's in that kid, and I don't want to know I don't want to see whatever monster comes out of that, because you know what? I'm just not prepared at that moment for that.
Get that. Well, shit, man. That's
That's not something you put on your list. Like, you go grocery shopping. I'm going to get lettuce, tomatoes, and baseball bat because the undead children coming right up.
Well, I mean, shit. It's coming along zombie age. I'm telling you, it might be coming along in your daily shopping list or to-do list. Is gotta go whack some zombie babies, zombie kids.
Oi.
All right. Well, Seabass, that was one of two pretty deep fears, and when I say deep, like when someone hears about like, well, what are you afraid of? Undead children, like that's instantly gonna click of like, I don't know, so like people aren't gonna understand that. They're either gonna make fun of it, they're either gonna like be like, okay, whatever, or they're just gonna like not really understand the reasonings why, and that's why we're getting into it. I mean, like, and that's why we're able to deep dive into Well, what effects are you more afraid of? Again, the actual entity of it, or having to deal with the situation? And the reasonings behind it are totally different for everybody else, I guess. But a lot of it is common ground, and a really big common ground or common phobia that a lot of the United States, the world essentially has, is, and I'm gonna fucking butcher the shit out of this, but we're gonna try it. Is the fear of either open, deep water, or pretty much drowning. Now, the fear of drowning is called aquaphobia, and 46% of humans have a level of aquaphobia, which is, again, the fear of drowning. And what I want to kind of like dig into what is a phobia. And again, the research on the internet of my 30 minutes of dig diving into Google. A phobia is an anxiety disorder defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation, and that's usually comes within traumatic experiences. And again, highlighted on going through my research, it basically said that because of the huge percentage of there is a huge percentage of people with aquaphobia, but the majority of it is based off of a traumatic experience as a younger child. So I guess my question to you, Seabass, is why are you afraid of drowning? Are you just afraid of the water? Are you what's dig deeper into that? Like, let us know what's up.
So when it comes down to drowning, I love the ocean and, water and stuff. I don't mind, being out in deep water. My biggest fear is the suffocation part of drowning, the not breathing part.
Okay.
It's the whole like not having control to breathe.
Okay, I can see that. So the fear is actually the struggling to breathe. Now, is that just a fear of suffocation in general, or is that really only comes up, like that fear and that anxiety only comes up when it's associated with water?
It really pops up with the association with water. I mean, like, I'm not a big fan of suffocating. I don't think anybody is. I don't think somebody wakes up and goes, you know what I want to do? Stop breathing.
Hey, again, not knocking anybody's kinks, but
again.
Yeah, that's more like a topic for the Unsolved FetishCast.
There we go.
It's just
Coming next episode.
get to that point and you're just like, well, here's how it works. If I'm gonna drown, it's not like I wish I had gills that I can breathe underwater. I mean, that's not gonna help anybody.
Yeah, that's.
It's the whole. You have to struggle to breathe. It's to fight for it. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's again, like, because of your background and through the crazy shit that you've gone through your life as, bouncer, concert security for not fucking country or like classical music. Like you've done some hardcore fucking concert securities, and you've taken on mass amounts of people. You've gone through the ringer. So within those situations of having to bottle up fear, having to contain that so you can overcome the situation, protect, like you are a protector at heart. And I remember a time in an instance where I don't even know if you thought about it, but when I was like going through my questions, I remember a time when you were saying that you jumped into a pool, or was it a lake, something like that. You jumped into a body of water to save a really close drowning child in your life, and you jumped in and you saved the day. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, and that part was freakish for me because it didn't hit me. It felt like, it's kind of funny when you but it had to do with the child. So once again, whose life is worth more? Like, I've been on the earth, longer than this child has. So I'd rather the child have a better option of surviving than me.
Right.
I know that sounds stupid, but at the same time, it's like, you can't get mad at, he got pulled by the undertow. I swam as fast as I possibly could with the one good leg I had.
Yep.
And, and then I just I rolled with it, and then I got, he was going under. I picked him up. The water was about 2.5, 3 inches over my head. I hauled him out of the water. His mom pushed a float out. He hit the float so hard after me launching him out of the water, because he kept, when you're drowning, you're swinging your arms and your legs.
Right,
so
you're flailing.
I'm getting kicked in the water. I'm getting punched in the face. I'm trying to get free, so I'm trying to come up, and he's pushing me down because it's like rats on a sinking ship. Everybody climbs on top of the other one because your survival instincts kick in. You don't want to die.
Yep.
And then I ended up, once I chucked him out, and once the water came out and they checked him out, he was good. Then I got to the car, and then it hit me, and then I freaked out.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's brings on a whole level of like PTSD, man. Like you lived you lived and survived through your fear while your fear was happening to somebody else, and that's fucking heroic, bro. Like that's fucking deep.
Well, that's like what they say is like the definition of bravery is being afraid but facing your fear anyways, and just pushing yourself through those situations. And yeah, no, like I don't think anybody would ever doubt the absolute bravery of Seabass, as a person in general, like as somebody who's willing to do what needs to be done to get things done. Yeah, you've always been a stand-up person of that caliber.
No doubt. Well, Seabass, my brother, this is going to be a good point to take a break so those listeners can go out there, get a bag of chips, some soda, I don't know, come back. And we'll come back and do the second half of this, all right? Thank you, listeners. Okay. We'll be right back. Seabass, you stay there.
Yo.
Whoop, whoop. We're going to stay there. Hold on. All right.
You're watching Unsolved FearCast. What's your fear? Unsolved FearCast.
Number 1, 2. Mic is recording. Mics are recording. Everybody's good on audio. All right.
Welcome back to the Unsolved FearCast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Unsolved. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit up those comments. Let us know what your fear is. If you have any input on any of the topics discussed today, throw it in there. Let us know. And as always, everybody, what is your fear? Let us know. Hit us up. Hit us up through Facebook. Hit us up through YouTube. We got all the connects out there, and we want to make sure that y'all are having that opportunity to come on to our podcast. This is Unsolved Studios, Unsolved FearCast, and we are proud to be putting this on for you, for your listeners, for our listeners, for you. We want to make sure that you are enjoying it and having some time to not only hear the fears of others and understand the fears of others, but again, jump on the show. Let's do this.
Absolutely. If you have a specific fear that you think that is individual to you alone, we would love to hear about it. If you're an expert in a category of some kind of fears, hey, we'd like to hear from you too. Reach out to us, and obviously, like we're trying to figure it out to where we can bring anybody on this show. We can discuss anything with anybody, and hopefully through these conversations we can help people understand and deal with their fears.
Exactly. And like Ryan said, we are making an effort to be able to invite anybody on this show. Today, for our special guest, we got the big bad wolf from the Bronx. He is a pro wrestler. He has been doing concert security, club security, child education. And where the hell are you right now? What state are you in, Seabass?
Well, I'm originally from Bronx, New York, and then I moved around a lot. I'm a gypsy pretty much. And right now I'm in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Well, that's a hell of a while away, and we are glad to have you all the way back into New Mexico through this phone call podcast.
Now, I do have an Arkansas question. Do people in Arkansas think that people who say Arkansas are pretentious?
I don't know if he's been there long enough. Oh my God. Well, again, like we're proud to have you on this show, Seabass, today, and we've been talking about undead children. We've been talking about aquaphobia, which is the phobia of drowning. There's also a lot of other phobias associated with water. There's another one, thalassophobia, that's the fear of deep and open water. And you were discussing, Seabass, that you're not so much afraid of the deep water or open water, but more so the action of drowning and suffocating beneath it.
Right. Think about this in this perspective. We've all done this. When you drink water too fast and you start choking on it, and you have that quick panic moment because you can't breathe.
It's truth. Yep. Cough, start spluttering, get it all over yourself. Yep, been there.
Why do you think waterboarding is so effective? Because the act of drowning.
Yeah, that's very true. And being like, even if you don't have that phobia, fucking being waterboarded, god dang, dude, like fuck that. That's I guess a definite fear. Fear of being waterboarded.
Fear of aqua-based torture.
Oh shit.
But like just even a half mouthful of too much like fluid in your mouth, and all of a sudden it's a painful experience. You know, your eyes start to water, your nose starts leaking, you're like,
Well, and then you're done. You're like tapping out, tap out.
May I propose something to you guys?
What's up?
So think of this, right? Somebody who collects exotic animals, right? Like spiders or, snakes or something, right?
Yep.
They're not scared of them.
Okay.
But the moment they get bit and something happens that's traumatic with that, watch how it changes the way they are. They develop a small fear and a game of just the unknown, and that's what a lot of people fear, is the unknown.
And that's kind of a topic we were discussing ish on one of the first episodes, or the first episode, is that a lot of people, humanity in itself is at a point within their evolution, within our evolution, that we're seeking out points of fear. We're seeking out points of adrenaline rushes, and I mean that falls along the line. It's even if it's you're a snake handler or a fucking tiger handler. Like there's a lot of and no matter how long you've been doing it, there's got to be some form of anxiety and fear with that. But you're chasing it. That's just what you do, and that's what they do, and they handle it well until they don't.
Well, when was the last time you saw a guy get attacked by a tiger and he was calm?
Hey man, I seen Tiger King, and he seemed pretty calm when he was shooting at that tiger that was biting at his leg.
Yeah, see, because that has alcohol and drugs in that.
Okay. Well, now it makes
There
sense.
we go. There we go.
Listen, you're around a creature that's like a human, like it's a mammal blender. This thing is like an apex predator, and you're sitting there going, "I love them. They're so cute and cuddly," until you lose a limb.
Oh, absolutely.
You fucking hugged a panther, right?
Yeah, I did.
But that's in New
once
York,
again-
man. People got like panthers living in their spare bedrooms in New York. I knew a
But,
guy who just
honestly, the messed up part of that is, I had a whole bunch of alcohol, so there was no fear, because my fear receptors were like, nah, this is gonna be just fine.
Oh, fuck
But
that.
when I sobered up, let me tell you how reality hit. When I realized after taking that picture, when that panther looked at me like I was a pork chop, and it dawned on me like, oh, I could have died.
But you had a good time.
I'm not doing that again, and I didn't.
Well, I guess hugging a panther is, it's a one and done off of the checklist for life, right? You did it, you're good.
Hey,
Everybody
do it.
thinks it's a giant house cat until it flips out and goes, you know what? I didn't eat enough. Let me take some of you.
But you're a pretty
All
scary
back to
guy.
flesh.
You're a pretty scary guy in yourself. That panther might have seen the picture the next morning and been like, holy shit, I was hugging with that dude? It's like, whoa,
I'll
man.
turn
Like,
the elbow.
did you see the chain around his neck? That was huge, man.
Solid.
They don't even chain me up like that.
Oh, shit. Oh man. Well, I mean, there's lots. Again, there's so many different fears out there, and within the fear of, or within the research of going in through these fears, as people come on the episodes, and like I'm just like going through and deciphering like, well, what phobia it is. There's so many like different sub phobias within genres of phobias, man. Like it's like music. There's just so many different sub levels of everything. And with the fear of like water, now I'm gonna hella butcher this, but did you guys know that megalohydrothalassophobia, let me say that again, megalohydrothalassophobia is the fear of large underwater creatures or objects. Now, without actually really having thought about that, I didn't really think that I would have that fear. But after reading that, you know what? That's a pretty fucking scary word, and that's a scary situation.
I knew a guy who used to underwater weld.
Okay.
And one time he was in the suit, a Mark 9, like those old diving suits.
Right.
And he's welding this bottom of a tanker, and all of a sudden he feels this pull, and he can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden his tentacle just wraps around his face.
Oh my God.
Fuck
And
that.
he's getting pulled, and the octopus was attracted to the light. He didn't know that, but it was a giant octopus.
Oh
Fuck
gosh.
that, dude.
And he, no offense to my man, he crapped himself in his suit, but rightfully so. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
if you're getting
yeah,
attacked by
that's-
Cthulhu underwater while you're working, it's not a good sign.
Fuck that. I would have shit myself too, man. Fuck.
Now, does any of your fear of drowning transfer to like underwater creatures possibly assisting in something of that nature? Like,
Well-
we've all heard about the killer whales knocking over yachts and stuff. Now, in most recorded history, killer whales in the wild have been known to actually assist people and help them from drowning.
Right.
These are the same creatures that, for fun, will flip over great white sharks to turn them asleep and then eat them alive. But recently, we've kind of started pushing this envelope where now we got killer whales who are like, I don't think I like people in the wild as much as captivity. And I think that's a terrifying aspect. I was like, it would be cool to swim with a killer whale, but the idea now that killer whale could harbor ill will,
You know?
like, and just not even in a SeaWorld, but outside of SeaWorld, that's a little terrifying.
I mean,
Well, here's something here's another perspective. If you think about it, with all these movies like The Meg 2, Jaws, the one with the squid, the Kraken, and
right.
all this stuff, the people already have a fear of what's out there because we don't know we haven't explored the ocean as well as everybody thinks we have.
Hasn't it
We
been?
don't know what's down there. Plus, there's polar caps melting and stuff. There might be stuff in the ice that, has been asleep because there's fish that could be frozen, and then once they're back in warm water, they come back to life.
Oh yeah, there's a in the news recently. There's a thing because of the ocean temperatures rising. There's an increased number of flesh-eating bacteria in the oceans, in places like Florida, in different places where it's like you can just have a small cut and it can get in and just eat your body alive.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, because of the heating of the oceans, there's going to be a little child at the beach getting flesh-eating bacteria and then turn into a zombie baby, and Seabass is going to have to go try to
Or at least he might just have some fleshy arm, and that's going to terrify Seabass.
No.
I'll be heading to the car.
Done.
I'm
They'll be like,
heading
help
inland.
me. I'll call somebody.
I'll come back for you.
I got your back way back.
Tomorrow for sure.
So, trying to stay on point a little bit. This fear of drowning, did you have any kind of event in your life that may have kind of pushed towards this, some kind of traumatic experience with the water?
Yes.
Ooh, tell
When
us
I was
about
a
that.
Kid, I didn't have a fear of water. I just liked the water. I
Right.
threw a die-cast metal transformer in the pool of like it was a 6-foot pool, and I was only like 5 at the time. And I
Okay.
just jumped straight in.
You said I can't
No, I'm
lose that
just saying.
transformer.
And I jumped straight in and sank to the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to come pull me out.
Did you know how to swim,
didn't
or
know
did you
any
just
better.
jump?
You know?
Did you know how to swim at that point, or did you just say, fuck it, I
No.
need that? Yep. He said, I got this.
Yeah, I just figured I saw people diving in. How hard can it be?
Right.
And I just jumped in, and and I didn't realize, I could have died and all this other, the repercussions of my actions.
Do you remember what you were thinking at that point? Like, was time slowing down, or was it just like super quick and you just like reacted, or you just had to wait?
Well, it was more of a calming effect until I realized I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Okay. Get that. So you still like the water. You just don't like not
Oh, yeah,
breathing. I
love
get
the
that.
water. I think the water's great. I mean, not like I can go in now with these metal braces. I'll sink to the bottom like an anchor.
Well, I mean, and so statistically, your fear of drowning is statistically it should be not your fear should be gone, but your stats of actually physically drowning, even if you stay away from water, all that other stuff. It's pretty much long and gone, because the highest death rates of drowning are children from ages 1 through 4, maybe even 5, at pools or larger bodies of water. So, I mean, parents, I guess if you have pools, lock up your pool, right? I don't know how you lock up a pool. I don't have a pool, so fuck.
When I was younger, we had it was like the pool, like the solar cover you threw over the pool in the mornings and at night to keep it warm. And all I did was I just, I had heard the warnings. I was just being a jackass. And I jumped into the shallow section of the pool, only about 3 feet deep, but into the pool cover.
Okay.
And it wrapped around me
Oh,
so
fuck.
quickly. And I was like, no, I'm just going to be able to touch the ground. My feet slid out from under me, and I was immediately encapsulated
Engulfed.
in this pool cover immediately. And while, just on the shallow end, I was, 12, 13, 14 years old. I was freaked out in just that moment. And it took me about 30, 40 seconds to get myself to where I was holding on to the edge and pulling myself out. And I was just like, oh, yeah, no, that's dumb. That's really dumb.
Hindsight, yeah.
I've done some really dumb things in my life, and that's definitely one of the dumber.
It's when it comes to fucking water and drowning, you don't want to be doing dumb shit around that, because it's I've been in the ocean and I got caught in that tide, and like I got sucked in, and I thought it was done, but like I got pushed. Some random freak wave pushed me just right back to where I needed to be, and it was at the last second, and then it was good, and had another dude jump on my back what's that game when you like jump on the shoulders in the pool and like everybody goes at each other or something? Whatever, was doing that, and like I was under the water and he was totally fine. I was fucking thrashing around, and next thing I know, I'm like back on the side on the side of the pool, people looking at me, and it's like that's scary stuff, man. Like drowning is no joke. But what's weird is the fear. This is an actual fear. Almost 50% of the population has it. But Wikipedia now is, I don't know, maybe I read this wrong, but if you go look up aquaphobia, Wikipedia kind of puts the whole fucking thing down, like that whole fear, because it is considered a specific phobia. And a specific phobia, according to Wikipedia and some other doctor dude somewhere else, is an intense fear of something that passes little or no actual danger. So they're saying that the fear of drowning passes no actual danger. But it does. That's fucking crazy, man. Like if you're near any type of water, you probably have the possibility of drowning, man. Again, going back to the little cup of drinking too much of it and you start choking and dying, that feels like you're dying every single time.
Plus, like, breathing is like an auto response. Like, you don't really think about it. You just kind of breathe. And so to go underwater and to hold your breath, you're like denying your own nature. And then to reach a point where it's like when you kind of no longer have any like ability to hold your breath, your body immediately tries to take a breath. So it's like if you're underwater in that moment and you're gasping, you start gasping for air, and all you're taking in is water, and then the reality of that sets in, and the pain and just the it's absolutely terrifying.
Oh, 100%. And there's a lot of different ways to, I guess, help yourself overcome it, I guess.
Are these from Wikipedia again?
These again from Wikipedia again. But so going back to like Wikipedia, there's a whole list of things that talk about the fears for how to overcome. And going through like the steps, first step number 1 to overcome this fear is to breathe.
Breathe.
Just breathe, right? You know,
as long as you're not underwater,
right?
Just breathe.
Just don't do that. Step number 2.
Okay.
Visualize positive swim imagery.
Positive swim imagery.
So what you're
Backstroke
telling me
on
is
the
that,
beach.
so what you're telling me is that I need to breathe, have like breathe like a Lamaze exercise, and put on some like Aquaman underwear.
Pretty much,
Yeah, man. You just got to think of like talking to the fishes and zipping through like Jason Momoa.
Visualize positive swim energy. That's step 2. All right, now going on to like step 3, 4, 5, and whatever. It basically summarizes it up and it literally says this: get past your feelings of sinking and hire a swim coach. So they're basically saying, if you have this fear, get over it and hire a swim coach, which is fucked up, man. You can't tell people that.
Yeah, I think
Suck
people.
it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I definitely think people have different buoyancy properties to them, and so it's like, oh, I just hire a swim coach. You're just not swimming good enough.
Yeah, no, you're not doing it right.
Every time I swim underwater, I just swim straight down. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh no.
I don't think I got a handle on this.
Oh shit. Well, going back into like overcoming fears and stuff, Seabass, you've overcome your fear of drowning within situations so that you can, you know, be that hero. Even though you're not trying to be that hero, you just are. That's just who you are in a sense, and that's why I'm excited to have you on this show, because you're overcoming your fears. Not just drowning and undead children, but like there's a lot of scary situations that you've been in, but you've overcome it. So we would like to ask you, and the listeners are interested as well, is like how you overcome these fears. Like, is there a step-by-step process for you, or do you just mentally just like turn shit on and off and you go? Like, what's it like for you when you're in a fear-induced situation?
Well, it's kind of a weird concept that I have. So my concept is that I believe in the afterlife. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And I believe that if I'm right with, if you're going to die, you're going to go someplace.
Yep.
So, and hopefully it's paradise. So technically I'm just saying, the end result is, if you survive it, awesome. It's better be above ground than below it. But if you don't, then, I believe there's a paradise waiting for me. So,
yeah.
It's like, it's not a win-win, but at the same time, it's kind of, there's an other option, which is nice.
That's true. I mean, that puts a lot of things into perspective of, like, getting through something. Like, is the positive outlook on the other end of the situation. Positive and being whatever you want it to be, really. And that's really awesome to hear, and we're glad you shared that with us. Seabass, I believe our time is coming now to a little bit of an end. Unsolved FearCast, really, really enjoyed your company today. Thank you for dropping in. Do you got any last words for the listeners today?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Let's hear it.
We should treat each other with more respect and stop fearing the unknown because it'll be known soon enough.
Facts. Solid facts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Positive attitude.
Yep, for sure. Well, listeners, thank you again for jumping onto Unsolved FearCast. We really appreciate your time, and wait around for the next episode. It's going to be coming out soon. We want to know what your fear is. What is your fear? Hit us up in the comments.
For having me.
Thank you, Seabass.
Thank you, Seabass.
Yeah. Hit us up in the comment section. Subscribe, like, all that other crap. And keep it on. You help support us. Your support helps us continue on and be able to build bigger, better episodes and share. Let everybody know what we're doing and bring it on to somebody else. Bring in another listener and let us know what your fear is. Unsolved FearCast. Yay.
Thank you for listening to the Unsolved FearCast. Filmed deep in the heart of Unsolved Studios.
Yay. All right. And that's a wrap, gentlemen. Whoop, whoop. Yay.
Ooh, was that good?
That was fucking beautiful, man.
You're
That was
watching
awesome. That was fun.
Unsolved FearCast. What's your fear? Unsolved.